Hello everyone. Today I will talk about the mystery of the soul leaving the body. After a period of research, recently, scientists at the University of Southampton, UK announced that they had discovered the mystery of the phenomenon of soul leaving the body.
The phenomenon of people still having conscious experiences of everything around them after the heart stops beating and the brain completely stops working is always a headache for scientists and causes a lot of controversy. To solve this question, Southampton University scientists spent for years studying more than 2,000 people who experienced complete cardiac arrest at 15 hospitals in the UK, US, and Australia.
They found that nearly 40% of cardiac arrest survivors described a form of consciousness that persisted during their clinical death before their hearts restarted. One patient recounted that he completely got out of his body and stood in the corner of the room, watching the entire process of doctors resuscitating him on the hospital bed. Although his heart stopped beating and he was dead for 3 minutes, this 57-year-old man from Southampton still clearly remembers the actions of the doctors and clearly describes the sounds of the machines in the room. Emergency. Dr. Sam Parnia of the State University of New York, USA, head of the research team, explained, "We all know that the brain cannot function after the heart stops beating. But in this case, human consciousness seems to continue to exist for up to 3 minutes after the heart stops working, although the brain usually turns off about 20 to 30 seconds after the heart." Mr. Parnia continued to explain, "This man described everything that happened in the room, but the most important thing was the 2 beeps from a machine that only made sounds every 3 minutes. Thus, we can calculate the duration of human consciousness after death." What this man told was very reliable, and it all happened exactly as it happened, said Dr. Parnia. Of the 2,060 cardiac arrest cases they studied, 330 people came back to life, and 140 of them said they felt their consciousness was still active while being resuscitated. Others feel scared or floating in deep water. In addition, 13% of survivors clearly felt the phenomenon of soul leaving their body, and the same number said that their senses were significantly enhanced. A similar study by scientists at the University of Leeds, Belgium on the phenomenon of soul leaving the body conducted a deeper analysis of the stories of hundreds of people about this phenomenon, but did not stop there. In people lying in hospital beds waiting to die, but also in pilots, mountain climbers, divers, and most people from different cultures have exactly the same journey, showing that these visions are biological coincidences of the brain, not necessarily rooted in religion. Teacher. Previous studies have found that almost 1 in 5 rescued heart failure patients have near-death experiences. These experiences include out-of-body feelings, pleasant euphoria, and seeing a ghost, a tunnel, a light, deceased loved ones, or seeing your own life flash before your eyes. Belgian neuroscientist Stephen Lories surveyed a group of 400 people around the world. Among these was a woman who fell into a coma when she fell ill during pregnancy. This woman recounted the time she remembered the man she once had a crush on. He died in a plane crash. When I saw him, I saw that his body was still intact. At that time, a clear blue sky and white light surrounded us, the woman recalled. Dr. Lories found that climbers can have near-death experiences during falls. Pilots say they sometimes feel like their bodies are outside the plane and flying with it. The scientists at the University of Leeds said, all over the world, stories of near-death experiences still appear, and this means we can pick out common factors and find out what happens, create them. Common trends include violent events that put human lives at risk, and sudden changes in blood supply, which lead to changes in oxygen levels delivered to the brain. Lories also found that near-death experiences can also occur when there is a combination of hyperventilation and rapid changes in positions. In the documentary Back from the Dead, one of Lories' researchers tested this and described seeing the light at the end of the tunnel through brain imaging machines and other technologies. It has been shown that the junction area between the parietal lobe and the temporal lobe is the key point that generates these near-death feelings. In the Sunday Times, Dr. Lurie said, "We found that even people who appear to be unconscious or in a coma can have a very rich neurological life." In the Sunday Times, Dr. Lurie said, "We found that even people who appear to be unconscious or in a coma can have a very rich neurological life."